I know I've still got a good fight in me and a good few fights, but I didn't want to be one of the fighters that are just fighting for money. You know, I first got into the sport not even caring about money.
Stevie Braveheart Ray!
When he's in the arena, it's going to feel like he's not just fighting me, he's going to be fighting a arena full of Scotsmen. Hello, I'm Stevie Ray. My record is 25 wins, 13 losses. So I grew up fighting pretty much since I was, I think 8 years old. I had my first proper fight, square go as they call it. And yeah, I had a lot of fights growing up. I ended up getting bullied from around the age of 10 to the age of like probably 18. I was a bit cheeky, so I probably like asked for it, if you like. But when I was 16, I started like going out drinking with friends. I was getting into fights all the time. Like I said, since the age of like 8, I was fighting. So I was going out drinking and fighting though, and I was getting like arrested. I started MMA on a tag. I wouldn't have been able to like kick, or I wasn't allowed to compete unless it got off. I had to apply to the court, the judge had to approve it. But yeah, when I applied to the court, I said it was for a karate fight. Because obviously back then, if I said it was for a cage fight or MMA fight, they'd be like, nope. So I thought, great, I'll get a night out. I'll get a night out on the drink after my fight. But nah, I had to meet them at my house at 7 o'clock. Get it put straight back on. Just shows you the kind of, my life could have went a lot different because I was getting in a lot of trouble. Spent a bit, like only a week, but the prosecutor fiscal tried to fully commit me, which is I think 140 days in prison. But I managed to get out on a curfew. Eventually tagged for getting in more fights while I was on the curfew. And then yeah, I would say like MMA kind of changed my life because I was getting in trouble for fighting, and then now I get paid for fighting, so that was pretty cool.
You had a shave as well, Sean?
Fighting in the early days, it was just kind of the same as fighting on the biggest scene. Like, I had a lot of like arranged fights, so I was known as maybe the local hard guy. So it was like planned where I was fighting a certain guy at a certain time. So it was in front of crowds, maybe 30 to 100 people. So I got the same butterflies I did then as I do fighting in front of thousands of people. Just the fact people are watching you and it's a fight, and the anxiety, not knowing what's going to happen. Yeah, but you could say it, I think it toughened me up. I think there's a positive thing in having a fight in your life. My mum and dad knew I got bullied, and they were trying to encourage me to fight back because I was a bit more timid when I was younger. Like I let people bully me until I did start fighting back. But it wasn't until I started MMA that really I stopped getting bullied altogether. But yeah, I mean, my mum likes the fact that I think that it changed me, and I was able to use my kind of aggression or whatever the reason was that I liked fighting, probably to let out aggression and also some talent and whatever else. But she likes it. She comes to the fights. I don't think she likes watching the fight, but she likes the atmosphere, and she's probably like hammered by the time I'm fighting anyway, so she likes to go and enjoy herself. I've got a son and I've got 3 daughters. So I've got my eldest, Lyle, he's 13. I have a daughter, Millie, she is 12, just started high school today. I have another daughter, Mila, 9. She's the one that's epileptic. And then I have another daughter, Lara, she's 4. So I've got my hands full. We never knew anything was wrong with Mayla, but when she was 4.5, it was like the hottest day of the year. So I thought it was something to do with the heat, like. But she ended up. I was coaching at my gym, Braveheart, and annoyingly enough, I decided to stay back after it and do weights in the place that I rented off. And I got a phone call when I was there, and it was somebody screaming on the phone, crying, and I didn't even know it was my wife. But eventually, I've figured out. She's saying it's Mayla. She's not waking up. I didn't know what's wrong with her, and I'm like. I remember screaming to her saying, "What, you've left her in the bath? I thought she had drowned or something." Because she said, "Oh, she was in the bath and then she came out." And so anyway, it ended up finding out that she had had a seizure. But she was in the seizure for 2 hours. Anything over 5 minutes is life-threatening. Yeah, when I got to the hospital, like Mayla was getting tubes and everything put down her throat. And then they told us they were going to have to put her into a coma, because she wasn't coming out. She had had all the anti-seizure medicine. She wasn't coming out. That was the first one. That was 2019 when she was 4.5. And then about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks before my $1 million fight for the PFL, Mayla had an appointment, and we thought it was just a routine appointment where they'll tell us, right, we're going to increase the medicine, we're going to do this. But they said that they had found on the MRI that there was an abnormality with Mayla's brain. She had a 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘'𝗦 type 2, and that she was medicine resistant, so the medicine's never going to fully control her seizures. And basically said that if we didn't try the surgery, that she might eventually die. So I actually got told I was on the mat. Because Natalie was like, "You've got a fight, it's alright, I'll go, I'll tell you what they say." Not thinking there was anything serious. So I was on the mat, she phoned me, getting a wee bit emotional about it now, but and I just burst out greeting. She's like, "Mayla needs surgery." But skip forward, she got the surgery, it went fine, like she's had seizures since, so it's not fully fixed it. And we just got told at the last appointment, where other MRI, that she's still got a wee bit of dysplasia there. I don't know, we'll find out the next appointment if she's going to get another surgery. But bit of a tough time that was. They've never been to my fight, but I'm planning on bringing them this time. My wife said that she would like them all to come because it's supposed to be the last one. If we can get them all there, we'll go try and get them along. Even when I've fought in like America and stuff, the kids have stayed up and watched it live as well. My wife's like sent me a video of them cheering, Lara shouting "Go Dad," and she's been and watched me training and stuff as well.
More kicks from Alexander Martinez. Oh, big left hand! Stevie Ray.
I've been in there with much bigger names, better opponents than he has. I mean, he's fought a couple of tough guys, I feel anyway, and he lost to them. 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘'𝗦, kind of average guy that was in the UFC, he lost to him. I know he's going to be dangerous, I know he's going to be training hard and he's going to come and bring it. Obviously he's fighting in my territory. But in terms of who we've been in there with, I've been in there with obviously much bigger and better guys. I know I've still got a good fight in me and a good few fights. But I didn't want to be one of the fighters that are just fighting for money. You know, I first got into the sport not even caring about money. Like I told you, I just loved fighting. I would fight for free. I think it should be the last one, but if a fight made sense, an opponent that excited me, then I'd be up for it. I remember when I got Anthony Pettis, my motivation was through the roof just because he was a big name. So I'd like, if I was going to fight again, it would need to be someone that motivated me. Anybody that's able to get along to the show, it's at the Hydro, so if you're Scottish, you've got to like fighting, like I said, drinking and fighting, so get along. It's potentially my last ever fight, so if you've seen me fight or if you've not seen me fight, get along. I'm going to give it everything. I'm going to try and knock Lewis Long out. I'm going to try and take his head off. So try and get a ticket before they're all sold out. And yeah, it's the first time I've fought in Scotland in I think 7 or 8 years. Now's your chance to see me fight again.